You ever try to heal for someone that you still have to see? Not someone you can block, not someone you can avoid, but someone who is still right there at work, at home, in your environment. And every time you see them, something in you shifts. Your chest tightens, your mood drops, your mind goes back. And now you're not here anymore. You're back in the moment where they hurt you. So, what do you do when healing does not come with distance? Welcome to Articulated Illustration, where we see things from unusual angles. I'm your host, Dwane Richardson Sr., and today we're talking about when the pain is too close to heal. Now, let's get into it.
Word of the day.
Proximity. Proximity means nearness, closeness, or being right there. But today, we're not just talking about physical proximity. We're talking about emotional exposure. Because sometimes what's closest to you is also what's hurting you. Most people think healing looks like distance. Cut them off, walk away, remove yourself from the situation. And yeah, sometimes that works. But what happens when you don't have that option? What happens when the person who hurt you is still part of your environment? Now, healing doesn't come with distance, it comes with exposure. Sometimes it's not even the situation anymore, it's the trigger. You see them, and before you even think, your body reacts. Your chest tightens, your breathing shifts, and your thoughts start racing. And just like that, you're not in the present anymore. You're back there. That moment, that conversation, that feeling. And let's be clear, that's not weakness. That's memory. That's emotional muscle memory. And your mind is trying to protect you by reminding you of what happened. But it doesn't know the difference between then and now. So every time you see them, it's like it just happened again. It's fresh in your mind. Think about a wound, not something small, something real, something open, something exposed, something that hasn't fully closed yet. Now imagine it starts to heal. Slowly, the surface begins to come together. And it's not perfect, but it's progress. And then something hits it again. Same spot, and now it's open again. So you go back, you treat it again, you protect it again. And just when it starts to close, it gets reopened again. Over and over and over again. Now stop. Because at some point, you have to ask yourself, is the healing not working, or is it something preventing it from finishing? Because you are applying something. You're trying, you're growing, you're praying, you're becoming more aware. And that's your neurosporin. That's the thing that you are putting on the wound, trying to help it heal. But neosporin cannot do its job if something keeps reopening the same cut over and over. So now you're confused because you're doing everything right, but you are still not getting better. And the truth is, it's not that the healing isn't working. It's that the wound never gets the chance to fully close and also to fully heal. Here's what most people don't think about. Healing doesn't just happen on the surface. Your body has something called hemoglobin. It carries oxygen to damaged areas, so the body can repair itself from the inside. Even when you don't see it, something is working eternally, and your life is no different. That eternal healing, that's your mindset, that's your discipline, that's your faith. And that's how you think when nobody's around. Because if nothing is feeding your healing eternally, every trigger takes you right back to the very beginning. Surface healing protects you, but internal healing restores you. Moving forward doesn't always mean moving away. Sometimes it means learning how to stand in the same room as your pain and not be consumed by it. Think about a ship. A ship was not built to avoid the water. It was built to move through it. The ocean doesn't stop being the ocean, and the waves don't calm down. The storm doesn't pause just because the ship needs to move. The water is still there, but the difference is the ship was built for it. And that's what you have to become. Someone who can still move even when the environment doesn't change. That means you stop waiting for them to change before you decide to move. That means you stop giving their presence the power to determine your progress. Living in your head rent-free. And that means every time you see them and feel that shift, you make a decision, not out loud, not for them, but for you. You say, I see you and I feel this and I'm still moving. Because growth that only works in comfortable conditions isn't growth at all. It's just comfort. Real growth happens when the wound is still fresh, when the trigger is still real, and when the person is still right there. And you move anyway. You don't always get to choose who stays in your environment, but you always get to choose who they are allowed to be in your mind. What in your life are you still close to properly heal from? And let's be honest, is it helping you recover or is it keeping the wound open? If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it because a lot of people are trying to heal in places they can't escape. And always remember to do what's absolutely necessary every day and keep illustrating your life. Why? It's your dream, your vision. Keep the pen in your hand, and I'll catch you the next time.